Strings of love. Now just a lifeless puppet. She's a porcelain marionette with glassy blue eyes and rosewood limbs, hangs in a dimly lit, opulent theater. The velvet curtain behind is cast with the shadow of her now puppeteer. She wasn't always his puppet. She once was his love. She thought to herself, he said he'd love me forever, but that love is a cage of binding strings. When they first met, he would give her roses to prove his love for her. She was so entranced with him. She was alive and radiant then. He was so charming, giving her roses, as a promise of his love. She was so in love with him. He made her feel seen. He still gives her roses to give her hope, to string her along. They used to dance in gilded ballrooms. Her dress swirls, her face glowing. She was entranced with him. As time passes, her skin cracks like porcelain, her limbs stiffen into polished wood. The man's hands morph into a puppeteer's, threading wires into her wrists, neck, and chest. The look of horror on her face as she lifts a trembling hand, no, a puppet's jointed claw. The man whispers, "Perfect." She realizes and thinks to herself, "I didn't notice, until I couldn't feel the rain anymore." No longer a woman. Now she is his puppet with strings, and he controls her every move and emotion. In her marionette prison, she performs nightly on the theater stage, her movements jerky and precise, to his whims. The man yanking her strings to force her movements, her wooden fingers clumsily wiping her tears. He smirks when she turns away. Her reflection in a backstage mirror, a hollow copy of herself, eyes vacant. She thinks to herself, "I forgot my own voice, but my heart still beats. Somewhere." The theater is finally empty and dark. The puppet, alone in the theater, stares at the fractured mirror of her carved hand gripping a pair of golden scissors. With jagged mechanical movements, she stabs the scissors into her chest. Not blood, but sawdust, spills out. She saws at her strings, each snap punctuated by flashbacks. Him mocking her dreams, her silenced laughter, his hands tightening her wires. Final string snaps, she collapses. As the theater crumbles around her, the puppet's wooden shell splinters. Her wood-grain texture melts into flesh. Porcelain cracks reveal flushed skin. Her glass eyes glow alive, wet with tears. Her hand grips the theater door. She steps into sunlight, her real hair catching the wind. Behind her, the theater collapses. Her face, alive and scarred, smiles faintly as she walks away. The scissors, now rusted, lie discarded in the rubble. Love shouldn't cost you your soul.